This bill really does kind of show us where the status of the debate is on a number of issues with respect to the preservation of innocent human life. Because the typical arguments that we see coming from the other side of the aisle with respect to issues of abortion cover things like it's just a clump of cells, or it's the woman's body, or we're interfering in between the woman and her doctor. But this bill, Mr. Speaker, says that after the child is born as a result of a failed abortion attempt, so the abortion failed, it didn't work, the child was born anyways, we expect the doctor to take reasonable measures in order to try to save the child's life. Now, as far as the province of the parent, that still exists. Nothing in this law changes that. But we are certainly telling a medical professional that we do expect them to intervene at that point because they do have a patient. It's called the child. And for anybody that thinks that we don't need this, well, I have no less an authority than Governor Ralph Northam, who described in detail what would potentially happen. A child would be born, a child would be made comfortable, and then a conversation would ensue. And Mr. Speaker, I know that part of this process, part of the deliberative process is to talk about some of the scenarios. But let me give you a scenario that I actually am familiar with. Because I stood there and I held up a woman who has cerebral palsy as a result of multiple attempts to abort her. As she gave a speech and talked about her experience of being left on a table to die. And thankfully, someone actually broke protocol at that particular clinic and chose to save her life. Mr. Speaker, the only conversation that should be ensuing in that moment when the child manages to survive an attempted abortion on him is for the doctor to intervene and provide care. And I don't think that's too much to ask. So if we can't agree on this, if we can't agree, again, take out all the other arguments, not a clump of cells. I mean, I don't agree with that argument at conception, but okay, fine. After the child is born, even then, we're not going to insist that a doctor intervene in order to provide a reasonable level of care or get them to a medical facility where they can receive that sort of care? Mr. Speaker, the vote we're about to take will tell us the true status of where this debate lies in the Commonwealth.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 52, noes 48.
Ayes 52, noes 48. The bill passes.